I really haven't studied the stat sheet, but I don't need to look at it. A disappointing effort from our team. And we've been playing with fire here for about a week and a half. And, it bit us tonight. Defensively, we were completely out of sorts to start the game in terms of our energy level, our spunk, and they got off to a good start. And we continue to look like a team that can't function offensively. Very, very one-dimensional right now in terms of how we're playing. Second half, coming out of halftime, obviously, much different second half. And I thought when we had our energy defensively and we played hard at times, we were able to create, a more free-flowing game for ourselves. But, 15 turnovers at home, shooting 2 for 15 from 3, shooting 30% in the first half at home. We look like, we haven't been together very long. And obviously tonight we're down a few, but it played no bearing in the result of the game because really it just started with the standard of effort and toughness, communication, and we weren't very good. And disappointed, but I'll own it. We had a tough time preparing for the game, trying to get our guys sorted out, with the bodies and whatnot. But man, you can play terrible and not know what you're doing, but the effort level can obviously speak volumes about how committed you are as a unit, and we didn't have that today. So that falls on me. Our team wasn't ready to play hard enough or well enough in this game versus good teams, and we don't have much room for error. We're not going to be bailed out, but we had our opportunities. Got down 15 in the first half again. We had the lead with 8.5 to go. You're at home. I don't care how you're playing. 1 point lead at home with 8.5 to go. You got to feel pretty good. And we caved in the last 4 minutes. Defensively caved in. Communication caved in. And we just weren't very good. But disappointed. And we got to get back to work.
Questions?
Coach, you said it just there, having an 8-point lead there as the second half is starting to dwindle down. But first half, definitely a slow start, and there was a hole that you guys had dug that you weren't able to fully get out of necessarily at the end of the game. What do you contribute to just not getting out of the blocks as fast as you would want?
We've lost our identity on offense, and we just have. Our purpose on offense, our ability to know what we're doing, the ability to move the ball, the forcefulness that we're not playing with. We were a pretty consistent offensive team at times through a non-conference. Since we've entered conference play, we've lost our identity on offense. It's really hurt us. And we've gotten in holes, double-figure leads. We're down double figures in the first half. And really, to be honest with you, we look like a shell of ourselves 3 weeks ago. That happens. Sometimes teams go through, we're also not shooting the ball at all. We're not making the game easy at all by sharing it as much as we need to, but we're 2 for 15 from 3. We can't make a shot, and that's really hurting me. The paint, it's really hurting the inside. But offensively, we've got to really start to work to get that identity back, start to play a little bit more confident in that area. I'm really, to be honest with you, disappointed defensively. Tonight we looked unprepared, and as a coach, I think that's the thing that eats you up the most. Are you good at what you do? Your guys know what they're supposed to do. Not going to be perfect, but are guys doing what they're supposed to do? Are you, good at the things that you strive to be good at? And, we just didn't have it. And on to the next one.
Coach, after the George Mason game, you mentioned that Q would be getting a lot more minutes in the rotation going forward. Obviously tonight with the injuries, that was bound to happen, but
He's going to play a lot more for us. Moving forward, we need all hands on deck. Our perimeter offense is really hurting us. Lack of scoring, lack of shooting, lack of ability to make plays has put the ball in Sebastian's hand way too much. He's having to work way too hard. And I think we need a spark, and I think Q's doing a pretty good job. Not a pretty good job, he's doing a great job. He got 14 and 7 tonight in 23 minutes, and he's going to continue to play. But, I thought Jaden, showed a little life. we got to get Jamarcus going a little bit as well. But yeah, Q's doing a good job for us. And in our situation right now, we're down to 8 guys on game day. Today was the first time that, I don't know, there was some lineups out there that really haven't been out there very much. But that doesn't speak to how we prepare to practice defensively. Maybe we'll be out of sorts on offense a little bit. And man, I tell you what, we're hard to watch on offense. It makes me sick.
Coach, I want to go back to the poor starts. What is it about this team that's resulting in that?
I'm sorry.
I wanted to go back to the poor starts at the beginning of games.
Yeah.
What is it about this team that is resulting in the poor starts?
I don't have all the answers, but I would say our offense is dictating our attitude. Our offense is dictating our disappointment. And when you let your offense sort of creep into how you feel, you get a team that, takes punches. You're not dictating the game. You got to dictate the game with defense. You got to dictate the game with great effort. And at the end of the day, sometimes that just covers up for all the things that you're not going well. And then, offense comes. But, really, like I said, we've lost an identity piece to our puzzle on offense, and I think that gives us a lot of confidence. And when it's not there, I think we're having a hard time mustering it up. It takes us a while to get going. We had our moments, I thought, late first half, and then times of the second half where obviously we created enough of an opportunity for us to not only get back in the game, but have a lead with 8 to go. So, it's a winnable game, but the last 4 minutes of the game is really disappointing, though. I mean, when you're in that 10th segment of the game, you have to take care of it. We didn't, and you got to get stops, and we didn't. And, I felt like, GW causes some problems, the way that they play, a lot of cutting. They bring your big a lot away from the basket a lot. And they open the floor up on us a little bit, which is what they do. But, I think our team in general, though, right now, we need shook up a little bit. We're not going to be successful if we, don't clean up our act, so to speak, in terms of our intensity level. You can't wait.
So when the game starts, is it that not coming in fired up to play, or they miss a few shots and then they start falling out of what they're supposed to be doing and pressing a little too much?
Yeah, I don't know. I know as a player when I played, if I was mentally geared up, ready to play, doing my job in every area, most of the time, good things happen. I think with our team, the game gets out of sorts a little bit, from an offensive perspective, because we don't look ourselves. I think we got some guys running around saying, I'm not real sure why we're doing that, but I don't really have the answers. But to your point, we're really not starting the game sharp and clean, and we're not crystal clear on what's going on offensively, and that's carried into some really poor play here in the last 2 weeks at the wrong time. But it can go south sometimes for you, and then you can come back up. We got to work really hard to get that offense identity going where we're a little bit more confident and guys know what's coming. But we're out of sorts, although.
What is Green's status and David's?
Both are out. I don't have a timetable for either guy. Both guys re-aggravated. David Green re-aggravated a shoulder injury, which he's been dealing with since Temple in the Mason game, and David has a foot injury that he sustained in the George Mason game. They did nothing from the end of the Mason game until today, and as we continue to move forward, we'll plan to prepare without him.
The low assist number since conference play started.
We don't share the ball.
Yeah.
We don't share the ball. And we just don't. We're having a really hard time moving the ball, and we're having a really hard time sharing the ball. And that's really hurt us. We've talked long and hard, how we want to play. And, I think we're a very efficient offensive team for the most part, coming into league play. We've become a very inefficient team since league play. And, both second halves on Saturday and today, our field goal percentage offense is way better. I think we were 53%, 54% in the second half tonight, and I think a lot of that is they're in front of our bench and we can help them a little more. First half offense is brutal. It's absolutely brutal. You're down 12, 15 points. We're just getting no burst. And then tonight, you had no force on defense to be able to create anything going on. But got to figure it out. Like I said, you go through ups and downs. We gotta grow, we gotta do it together. And at the end of the day, we gotta be looking forward to the next opportunity. And they come fast.
Coach, you mentioned the 3-point shooting earlier, 2 for 15, but going into tonight, you guys were shooting relatively well, shooting around 36% from beyond the arc, and so this is clearly an outlier. When you go into practice, how do you work with your guys and respond to something so far out of the norm than what they've usually been doing?
I mean, guys will shoot. I think when you have a good shot, obviously guys know what they are, but I think part of your shooting percentage from three is I really believe is guys aren't getting them when they're supposed to get them. We're not making the easy ones. We're not getting the transition threes that we once got. And, you know, at the end of the day, we become very one-dimensional on offense. And I think shooting percentages really come out of rhythm. Guys know when they're getting them. They know the ones they're supposed to take. And, you know, for us, it's been rough. You know, we're not getting a whole lot of threes in transition. We're not getting a whole lot of, you know, easy ones off driving kicks. So we're trying to muster up some offense, you know, at the end of the day, how? And, you know, our inside game was impacted, obviously, today, you know, with the depth, but, you know, we'll see.
At the end of the game, the final stretch, there was a lot of, you or I committed a lot of fouls. There were a couple of 3-point plays. We kept putting them at the line. They shot almost 80% from the line. What do you attribute that to?
I have no idea how they shot free throws. I do know
No,
that
I mean,
we
in terms
fouled.
of how many fouls
Discipline and
we committed.
fatigue played a role in the end of the game. No question about it. Broken spirit, so to speak. Sometimes you just cave in. And I really believe in the last 4 minutes we died out. We didn't have a good finish.
Sorry. You've pretty much gone as Sebastian has gone throughout the year. He's been terrific in multiple second halves, but another slow start for him tonight in the first half. How can you get him maybe on the same page as your offense, and maybe, you know, is he the key to
Yeah, there's no question. Point guard, I mean, obviously he's picked it up. He's a good player. He's picked it up in the second half at times, and he's been a finisher. And I thought in the second half tonight he was better. But to start the games here recently, you know, we're not getting anybody else involved. And I think we have to really make a point here moving forward that ball, whether it's being raced up and down at the end of the day, we've got to share it more. And I think, you know, him just trying to force the action at times or get going, whatever it may be, and playing aggressively, you know, has probably got us standing a little too much. Our assist numbers are way down, you know, and I think his assist numbers probably are a little bit down since conference plays is there, but you know, we need him to play smarter. At the end of the day, he's getting wore out right now, but we also need some other guys to step up and play, and we got to do a better job of helping our guys. But it feels terrible when you lose, especially when you lose at home, and in the fashion we lost tonight. I can't sit here and honestly say we deserve to win the game. Both ends of the floor tonight was a poor performance. We're not playing well. We've had some moments where we've been bailed out, but we're not playing well.
Archie, how much will it help if, you know, one of you guys can step forward as maybe the secondary ball handler with, you know, a lot on Sebastian's, you know, shoulders?
Yeah, guard plays a big deal for us right now. We need to get better guard play around. We need to be able to do a better job. I think that we were so free-flowing in the non-conference and trusting guys to be able to be those secondary ball handlers and playmakers and creators. We've lost a lot of confidence, you know, in terms of our offense, and I think it's hurt the other guys as much as anything. We're trying to control the game for them a little bit more. It's not as free-flowing as it once was for us, and we have to have a balance to free-flowing when it's working. Tonight was a tough game to be free-flowing with the lineups that we had in, so we had to control it a little bit more, but you know, we had our opportunities in this game. It's disappointing when you work so hard to get to a certain point where you play a certain style and you want to be good at what you're doing, and we're not good at what we're doing right now. And we have to be able to identify that, address that, clean it up, and try to build back, because you got to build confidence back. But you have to dictate the terms of games. Hardest playing, most physical teams dictate the terms of the games. They set the rules. First 2 possessions of the game, uncontested baskets. It's like, that's not how you want to start the game. So we have to be able to rely more on force and ferocious effort plays, not when we get down to punch back. You know, we have to be better at starting the game defensively. I think that will help our offense. But yeah, I mean, I know the numbers, you know, defensively in the second half were better, But, you know, like I said, can sit here and talk about it all night. We didn't play well enough to win or deserve to win. It's really, you know, you go through highs and lows as a season with the group. And right now, our group kind of is limping around a little bit. So we got to get a little pop back. All good?
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.